Scorpio. Hey, baby. This is your girl. It's Krishana, Belladonna Krishana. And I am here with your, if I can find my cards that I just had. I am here with your mid-month reading. Now, I am super cold right now. Let me just put this down a little bit. Okay. I'm super cold right now, so that's why I have my hoodie on. So, concentrating on your guys' energy. Wow. Sexual revolution. Sex. That's what I see with you guys. Sort of like sexy energy. Like Stella got a groove back, or Papa got a brand new bag. Bringing sexy back. You know what? This is probably not. These cards have been flown out like this for any other reading. Like they're ready to talk about your guys' sexual energy. So here's the thing: sexual energy doesn't necessarily always mean that you guys are out playing around. And like sleeping with everybody, cheating, blah, 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 doesn't necessarily mean that. Sexual energy is the energy that creates. So this is actually very creative energy, but it's where you're feeling that creative energy, which is kind of right down in your sometimes people call it yoni area, sort of like I can feel this energy that I haven't felt personally in a while, which is this sort of like rev up of sexual energy. So yeah, that's kind of what I feel from you guys. I went ahead and pulled some cards, and we are going to look at that. So I feel like, maybe I feel like this new moon is really going to hit you guys in that way. By the way, this reading is for February 15th to March 15th, okay? Anyway, so I feel like you guys have kind of been in a place of your own kind of, is this focusing, hopefully? This is the Hermit card, by the way. A place where you guys have probably felt a little imbalanced in your sexual energy. For some people, or creative energy, you can just call it that, creative energies. Perhaps I have hair in my mouth. Perhaps you guys have also felt like you guys weren't really feeling it, and then as this like new moon hits, I feel like you guys the union between the Scorpion energy and the Aquarius new moon, I feel like, is going to definitely kind of get your engines running. So it's still in my mouth. It's in my mouth. Maybe that's what a lot of you guys are saying. Anyway, so we have the Eight of Swords here. Okay. So maybe you guys have kind of felt restricted or really kind of been held back. And it's, that's fine. The thing you guys have to worry about is a lot of times when you've gone through this kind of like feast and famine kind of thing. So you've been in the famine mode, and then kind of like stepping out in that feast mode, you have to make sure that it's in balance. Otherwise, you guys are going to start just kind of putting your energy out, and this is actually the energy that you guys can use to actually channel into something to create. So if some of you guys have been wanting to have children, this would be a really great time for you guys to start trying. If some of you guys have been wanting to work on a new project, this would be a great time for you guys to start these projects. But you guys have to actually remain focused on what that project is going to be and what the end goal is going to be. So we have the Fool card. So this is definitely, speaking of that kind of renewed energy, you can kind of see this is actually, this is kind of a very I would consider this to be sort of a womb shape, a womb sort of a symbol, you know? And so just kind of, creating from that space within your womb, creating from that space within, your kind of testes, where making sure that you guys are really focusing the energy on something that's actually going to bring you fulfillment, and further your, process here. So, hold on, getting something else. So in the Leo video, I just talked about an initiation period, and I feel like you guys are in the pre-initiatory process, which is basically that process of which I think there's another sign too, and I can't remember. I think it's Aquarius. But in that kind of pre-initiatory phase as well, and kind of having that, the energies are just starting to rev up. You're just starting to feel sexy again. You're just starting to feel like, Papa got a brand new bag, which is a very old phrase. And some people who's watching this won't even know who that's by. It's Black History Month. That is James Brown. Anyway, I'm going to pull some cards from my other deck and tell you what that says as well. So I always tell people this is my deck that I actually use for work. If you guys ever want to get a reading from me, you guys could email me. But yeah, this is the deck I use for work. So it's a little bit bent out of shape, but that's okay. That is perfectly okay. Let's see what cards are going to. Okay, everything's just kind of popping out here. What cards are going to come out? Everything is coming out really easy for you guys. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about it. We have the Tower in reverse, and so this could speak on quite a few levels. Number one, it could speak on the fact that maybe there were some projects that you want to come to fruition and maybe they didn't come together fast enough, and so you sort of gave up on them. It could also be people, or relationships, that maybe you guys have, thought was going to work out and didn't quite work out the way that you wanted to. And it felt like the Tower. It felt like things, got really, effed up, and you're kind of like, well, do I even want to try again? And that's kind of indicated by here the Three of Swords, which is basically that card of you guys are really kind of down the dumps. You're kind of feeling like, well, was that it? I felt so much more here. Is that it? Was that it? If you guys are in, sort of still in that process of things kind of not quite coming together, the Five of Rods is here that says that soon there will be an end to that conflict. And so, to just kind of like this is kind of the tail end of that. I feel like, in the next few weeks as the new moon kind of does what it's doing, I feel like in the next couple weeks, everything will kind of taper off and the energies will actually become a lot more clear. So just to kind of, just wait on that. We have the Ace of Cups, so the energy is coming back. Okay, the energy that I was speaking of, that sort of like the sexual energy, that also, and maybe for Scorpios as well, that sort of energy that you sort of need within a relationship. You need to kind of have it all there, especially, the sort of like, you need the drive, and where does that drive come from? That creative place. And so anyway, Ace of Cups, it says it's a delay. It is a delay, but it's coming. It's a delay, and it could be that the person that you were sort of dealing with, that this is kind of a temporary thing, and they might actually come back. And so that's also kind of a thing. If you want them to come back, you can totally will that into existence. I feel like that it's probably more so that this particular cycle is not necessarily done with that person, or that particular career. Maybe not the job, but the career is not particularly done yet. But it's going to take a little bit of time for sort of everything to sort of, to energy to sort of clear. I feel like in about 2 weeks or so, everything will be a lot more clear. We have the Four of Rods in reverse. And I feel like this is sort of like you guys sort of still hanging on to it, whatever the it is. When I was in Germany, they had a phrase that was essentially, hope is always the last to leave. And so, kind of still holding on to the hope that, things are going to get better, that this person is going to sort of find their way, or, we have the Seven of Pentacles that says, right now is the time where you plant the seeds that you want to bloom when the time comes. And so, doing that sort of internal work, that healing work, seeing from different perspectives how things sort of ended, seeing how you got to the place where the energy that is so strong with you guys, which is sort of that sexual creative force, is so strong with you guys, how that ended up sort of waning for a period of time. How did that happen? And what was your role in that? And so you definitely want to look at that this month. And next month, hopefully, we will see that you guys have far surpassed this sort of energy, and that you guys are moving forward and forging ahead. So I will see you guys for the mid-March reading. Like, share, subscribe, leave comments, etc. And thank you so much for your time. Bye.